Hey everybody, Cal Roach here with Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. We are down here live at Summerfest. It's weekend number 1 of 3, and it's been beautiful weather the whole time so far, almost. And I'm here with Damon and Catherine, and we're going to discuss some of our favorite acts from the weekend so far. I'll start out, I guess, with a favorite, and I'm going to go with the Breeders last night. It had been 28 years since I had seen the band, and I feel like with the release of their album a few years ago, their reunion with their original band members, they kind of proven that they're as relevant now as they ever were. Just an amazing performance by Kim Deal, who she's just got an amazing presence on stage, and the songs that she's written over the years, the modern ones, the old ones, even a Pixies tune, of course. It was just fantastic seeing her perform those, and the energy was there. Everything was just really beautiful. I loved it. Damon, what about you? What was a favorite of yours?
So I just walked away from the Far Side concert or show. They had some legal problems with their name and everything, but they're down to 3 people. They were down to 2, but they're up to 3 from 4. But it was an amazing show. It took everybody back to like 92, 93. Huge crowd. Everybody was singing every word. Those guys, I haven't seen them in like 30 years, same. And they were just as like lively and like didn't miss a beat. It was amazing.
All right, Catherine, what about you? What was one of your favorite things
I have to say the Steve Miller Band. They had an enormous crowd spilling out the BMO Harris Pavilion, basically to the lakefront, and they just sounded so good. They did amazing solo work. The keyboardist was great. You can tell he's just a master of his craft, and he just gave the audience exactly the hits they wanted to hear, plus a little psychedelic blues thrown in there. And yeah, awesome show. He's actually going to be playing again tonight by popular demand, so that just gives you an idea of how widespread his appeal is. So yeah, fantastic show.
No doubt. And so now I guess we'll unfortunately talk about a few of our lowlights of the festival. Would you like to start, Damon? One thing that you didn't care for so much?
Well, I'll say it was just more personal. The Bare Naked Ladies, they had a good crowd. They were lively, good show. It was just kind of boring. And I don't know if it's just the crowd was kind of not super loud and obnoxious like they should be. But it was just kind of a snore fest. But people looked like they liked it. I just didn't personally care for it.
What about you, Catherine? Was there anything that you didn't care for
yes,
so far?
The Jason Aldean concert. He sounded good. The openers, Gabby Barrett and John Morgan, were great, but there were just too many intoxicated people in that crowd, and they were giving the security problems, and they were very distracting, and some nice people from the aisle actually kind of stepped over to help me because I was standing next to said intoxicated persons, and but yeah, it just took away from the enjoyment of the show. And then it didn't help that Jason Aldean was, taking a shot of bourbon on stage and a beer when the audience was clearly, pretty inebriated. So yeah, have to go with that.
All right, well, speaking of intoxicated people, there was a giant hair metal explosion on the north end of the grounds last night, and I have to say, I really enjoyed Lita Ford, but preceding her was Quiet Riot, and I'll be honest, they've got like one member from one version of the band in the 80s, no original members at all, really just milking that handful of hits they had in the 80s to the end with just like people jumping around from other bands to fill in, and I don't know, the energy wasn't there, and I don't think that the original Quiet Riot spirit, if there was one, really still carries on with that band, but the people there sure seem to be enjoying it, so I guess to each his own. And I think that just about wraps things up for our best of the first weekend of Summerfest. You can keep up with all of our coverage if you go to jsonline.com/Summerfest, and you'll find all of our Summerfest coverage there now and throughout the rest of the festival. Thanks for watching.